Hello everyone, it's Justine. I am going to make a really blingy pink, gorgeous Valentine's Day card. And I wouldn't just say a Valentine's Day, I would say a lovey-dovey card that could be used for a wedding, anniversary, or Valentine's Day, or just to send to someone that you love. So I'm just going to go through all the materials that I'm using first, and then I will assemble. So to start off, I'm using a few different stamps from the stamp set of the month from Spellbinders. This is the December one, and it's called My Forever Person. So this is the stamp and die that coordinates with it. So the die will cut out the love words, or letters, I suppose, and then the two chunky hearts. So I used that for the love words, and I used that for the hearts here. And the small heart, I used the die as well. But I didn't stamp on the glitter paper just because I don't think it really would turn out very well. But if you can see here, these letters, I'll just use the V. You can see with some gold embossing powder that is just so pretty. So moving on, for stamping my design on my big heart, I used some Distress ink. This was the Spun Sugar. I just have a little cube here, so I just pulled it out, but it does look really nice on my cardstock here. Now I'm going to be using two of this die to kind of wrap my heart around, so you can kind of see how I do it as we go here, but I will just say that that is this die. It's the sealed twine, so it's meant to look like some thread. And on this example card, it really does look like twine, but it's just one die here that I cut out the gold mirrored cardstock with. You know that I love gold mirrored cardstock, and I just had to make this a really blingy, flashy card because why not? Anyway, if you can see on this glitter paper, there is some embossed detail on there with some diamonds. So I used this embossing folder, which is the E3D-039. So this is the 3D embossing folder. Just put it all in there, emboss it, and I am good to go. So I like having some texture to my backgrounds, having a little dimension, and an embossing folder is a really quick way to add dimension to a background without going crazy. And let's see, I think that's all the materials, I believe. If not, I'll just say it as I go. So here is my card. I have my pink background already secured to the background. Do not tell anybody, but I actually die cut out this heart from the background. But once I put my card together, no one will know. So I didn't put on my glittered paper yet because I'm going to actually tuck this twine behind here and then adhere it on to my card. So first I'm going to figure out where things are going. I like my heart to go kind of on the bottom here. And I think I will just use a little piece of craft tape and just tape that down ish for now, and then put my letters on. Okay, so for gluing on my letters, I'm using the Barely Art liquid glue, which is my go-to liquid glue for all of my crafting. At this point, it's all about the Barely Art liquid glue. Mainly because it dries clear, it's affordable, and it has that little tip on the end that really is just, it makes it easy to glue on. This glitter paper is just some paper that I've had in my stash for a while. I think it, I don't know, it probably came from Hobby Lobby at some point, but I just love the blinginess of the glitter paper, and I think for a lovey-dovey card like this, it's really a good opportunity just to go kind of flashy and bling it up, if you will. Wonderful. Now that that is on, I am going to put on my fake twine, and I chose to use two of those because I wanted it to wrap around completely here. So you really don't see a lot of the twine. It's just meant to be just for looks, I guess. So I think that's a good place. So I'm just going to put glue right on this middle piece of that diamond connection. And typically I glue on the smaller piece, but since this glitter paper is so textured, I really want to make sure that that glue is getting into all of the nooks and crannies of my glitter paper. So I just spread that around quite generously. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I don't need quite as much glue and adhesion for this piece. I'll just let that dry. Now I do want this fake twine, or this paper that's supposed to be twine, to wrap around this glitter paper. So I am just gently folding it around like so. Then I can flip over my project and just add a little bit of glue to make sure that the back panel is stuck. And you know, we're just going to use some craft tape because I don't really want to worry about things sliding around. And with this gold mirrored cardstock, it is a bit slippery, and a piece of tape does the job. Again, don't tell anyone. No one will know because it's all covered up. All right, now I'm going to put on my little heart to the big heart. And I'm just going to use that Burley Art liquid glue to do that. I like that the stamp is quite subtle behind this glittered heart. It's not too in your face, which is perfect. Now I'm going to use some foam squares, and I have some old ones left over from a card kit, and I'm just going to use up those. So my heart is popped up. Just looking for some dimension here. And I think that these foam squares are just perfect. Now, you might be saying, well, that's not a square. And you said foam squares. Well, this is the extra pieces. All right, I'm gonna need some in the middle. Wasn't quite sure because of that cardstock, but if I don't put any in the middle here, it probably will be sagging down. We don't need that. I should also mention that this faux twine die is from the Sealed collection, which is all about the wax seals. And if you have not tried wax sealing and you're a card person, I really recommend trying it out. It is so much fun. It's fairly simple once you kind of catch on to the basic timing and just kind of keeping an eye on things. It's awesome. And if you're interested in learning more about that, I do have a video on my channel called something like wax sealing or how to use wax on cards or something like that. I don't remember the title right off the top of my head, but I kind of go through how I use it, and it was so fun to try out. My first couple times, even my first couple of times were usable products, and you know, that's not always the case sometimes in the crafting world. You have to kind of try it a few times and see what works and what doesn't, and that is not the case. At least I found it wasn't the case. It was fairly easy to catch on to. So give it a shot. Okay, I would like to add a little bit of embellishments to my card. So I am going to put glue directly onto the center of the flowers on the love letters, just the larger ones. And for my embellishments here, I'm just using these tiny pearls. I don't even know if they're a millimeter big. They're very small. And that will be a perfect center for my little flowers. Now these little gems, I guess not gems, but pearls, pearl embellishments, I think I got them on Amazon at least 2 years ago, and you can see I have a lot left, but they are perfect for adding little embellishments too. And just using a run-of-the-mill gem picker, and that worked out perfectly. So I thought about using this sentiment on this card. This I love your big heart was from this stamp set as well, but I don't think it quite belongs. At least to me, it doesn't look quite right. Looks a little too busy. So I'm going to use this on another card, and I will go ahead and make that and show you what I made here in video time. It should be a few seconds. Alright, so I have almost finished this card. I just was inspired by this sentiment, I love your big heart, so I went ahead and stamped out this large heart that came with the stamp set with the same embossing or gold embossing powder, so you can see that it definitely has a shine to it. And for the background, I used gold mirrored cardstock on the way back, and then on this almost a pink red, maybe like a red violet, I used this embossing folder, which is just like concentric circles, which is the E3D-034. So it's another 3D embossing folder, which again just gives a beautiful texture to the background. Now I also added a little twine bow on the top of the heart, and I just think it looks kind of cute. And whenever I use twine, I do put a little bit of glue on the ends. I just take basically a ball of glue, or I put a little glue on my finger, and then I will just kind of pinch and roll gently. And when it dries clear, and then that twine will not be unrolling. So just a little tip for you. Anyway, I wanted to add some little gems to this card just because I love gems, and I have some in my stash here. I have a whole basket called my bling basket, but I have some leftover gemstones from the Santa Lane card kit, and I thought that this red would go perfectly with the red that's on this card. Ooh, maybe I want to use the gold. Okay, I'm going to use maybe a little bit of both. Let's see. Okay, I love that. Maybe I'll use the gold as well. I just really like the gemstones from Spellbinders because they come with adhesive on the back. So yes, I do like using these pearls, but again, the Spellbinders gemstones with the adhesive on the back is just that much easier to work with. I'm going to move this one over, and I'm actually going to use this larger red one instead. Yes. And then I'll use another gold one for the smaller flower. This one. There we go. I like working in odd numbers, so 3 gems works for me. Kind of a funky card, but it works. Anyway, you can go ahead and try either one of these designs out. If something catches your eye, you can always change the colors. You can change the layout, have the heart on the top, the love on the bottom. This this craft of card making is all about creativity, having fun, and this is your art. So if you're a card maker, be artsy fartsy today and try something like this out. And if you don't like it, you can try again. So that's kind of the beauty of card making. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox here of how much I love card making. But if you're interested in any of the products that I showed in this video, I will have everything linked in the description for you. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Spellbinders does have a very, very thorough Q&A section on their website all about the clubs in general. So if you're interested in knowing more about the clubs, you can either ask me, you can go to the link, I'll put that in the description as well, the link to the Q&A section. But like I said, it's very thorough, and they really did a great job working through any questions that might come up. But either way, thank you for watching all the way to the end and checking out my 2 cards here. If you're interested in seeing more from this month's subscription, I will have 2 videos about the card kit of the month. I do have a video showing the small die of the month, which this month it is stitched, and then 2 other cards. I'll just do a little peek there, but you'll have to check out that video to see all 3. But this month is just all about love, and I love it. Anyway, thank you for watching again, and subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this one in the future. Bye!